Today we're in a very special place at Erhbar Conservatory of Music in Vienna, Austria. And here with us, Professor of the Conservatory, Stephan Moller. We're very fortunate to have you here today, Professor. Can you tell us a little bit about this special concert hall?
Yes, this is Erhbar Hall. It was constructed about in the 1860s. It was initiated by the Vienna piano maker Friedrich Erhbar, who had his factory right around the corner, and he needed a concert hall to present his pianos to an audience. Over the years, many celebrities have performed here, like Johannes Brahms, Gustav Mahler, Anton Bruckner. They were all here presenting their music. And as you know, Viennese musical tradition has been ongoing all the time over the centuries. So it is a tradition which is still alive. And we are very happy to have this hall here. It's one of the most beautiful halls of the city of Vienna. And it is an ideal place to perform the music of the great masters of music.
Well, how exciting it is to be here, especially for our students who are coming with the Golden Key Music Festival to Vienna. For this time to be here, they're going to have their gala concert right here on this beautiful, playing on this beautiful Bösendorfer. Can you tell me, us please, if the Bösendorfer was always here, the main instrument, or you used different pianos at some point?
Yes, of course, in the first years of the hall, Erhbar pianos were used, but that factory closed already in the 20th century, and so now there are no new Erhbar pianos anymore. And Bösendorfer actually is the only of more than 100 Viennese piano factories that survived up to our days, and they are still making these beautiful instruments with a very specific sound.
Yes.
And because no piano is like the other,
right.
And you feel also here the craftsmanship and the mastery of piano making. And so today, now we have this Bösendorfer concert grand piano, and everybody who tried this piano so far has been so excited.
They loved it, I'm sure.
Wonderful instrument with a very special sound.
How exciting it to be here in this place, playing this beautiful instrument. And for young students, probably especially inspiring for us, the teachers, and for students who are coming. It's so special to be here in this concert hall and also in the city of Vienna, because the Vienna is, of course, center of culture and music. So what you would say about this, maybe send some message to our students, to those who may be thinking about coming to Vienna?
Yes, of course. I can only say, if you study the music of the masters of past centuries, try to see the locations where they have been living and feel the special inspiration of the atmosphere and of the location and of the moments of the architecture, because it helps you to step back in history and interpret the music of that time better. And of course, there's not only music, there's also architecture, and there is paintings, and there are beautiful theater performances. We have it all here, and so it is very, very inspiring, and try to get as much as possible.
Right, it's so inspiring. It's such a special city. You feel the past. You kind of, you're enjoying being here. And Professor also is one of our distinguished judges for debut international piano competition, and this was our first season. So, Professor, can you tell us a little bit about that part of the Golden Key?
Yes, with my pleasure. The debut competition provides an immense chance to young musicians to go to play for audiences at world-renowned concert halls, especially in this case Carnegie Hall in New York. Also, a building of the past was built in the early 1900s, and so there is also a kind of musical historic place. And in the debut competition, certain young people are selected for concerts there. And of course, for a selection like this, you need to find people who decide about who is worthy really to perform there, and for this we have the debut piano competition. Now, about this competition, it's very interesting to say that it is open to young musicians from all over the world. And so now the difficulty is how can the judges listen to their performances without traveling to all these different places. And for this we are so happy today. We are all connected by the internet, so the young people can put their recordings on the internet and the judges can listen to their play on another continent. And this is amazing for our city that we have this disponibility all over the world.
It's amazing what can be done in the 21st century, but we're still inspired by the older time. And Professor Moller is a very famous specialist in Beethoven music, and we know that next year Professor is going to have a special tour in the United States, performing the whole cycle of 32 piano sonatas of Beethoven. And Professor, we would love to hear more about that.
Yeah, well, Beethoven's music actually has always been very close to my heart, and I have been feeling like just emerging into Beethoven's way of thinking, and I have always tried to perform this to the audiences. This also has a long story of the past. Hans von Bülow already classified the Beethoven 32 sonatas as the New Testament of the pianist. So a kind of religious way of feeling this, of the greatness of inspiration and of message which Beethoven gives to the people, and not to the people of his time, but to the people of every time. They all can receive this message of Beethoven in the 32 sonatas. Beethoven's idea was very close to that of Friedrich Schiller, who spoke in his Ode to Joy and said all people will be united as brothers and as sisters under the auspices of joy. And of course joy has to do with music and with love and with affection and dedication. And now when you listen to the 32 Beethoven sonatas in a row, I will play them in chronological order to make it clear to the audience how Beethoven evolved his own compositional style. This happened in 3 different periods spread out over 30 years of his life. He had the early, the middle and the late characteristics in his compositions, and it is marvelous to explore them one after the other. How Beethoven came to Vienna as a young man and met with the nobility, to whom he dedicated many of his compositions, and especially he taught many daughters of noble families in Vienna, and we feel these people kind of reviving when we listen to this music. And this also is a very certain, very central point of Beethoven's composition. The older he got, the more he struggled for individual characteristics of his music. Because Beethoven's way of thinking comes back from the classics, but it goes into romantics. And classical composition has to do with this very strong aspect of the sonata form, which is very regular and very balanced, and romantic way of composition has to do with extending those limits of the borders of the sonata form, and that kind of make them explode into something new. And then when it comes to the point when no sonata can be exchanged with another, but they are all individuals. And in this way also Beethoven led behind the idea of different movements, and these sonatas, they grow together more and more to psychological units.
Wow, that's amazing. I can hear you the whole day. I think we should conduct this interview. I don't want even to stop. It's just so inspiring, and we cannot wait to hear your performance of this all 32 sonatas next year in the United States. And I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for being with us today. It was so inspiring and so interesting and amazingly Just wonderful to hear all what you just said about Beethoven and about this very special and historic concert hall. And I wish all the best to our participant of Golden Key in Vienna, and actually professor is going to conduct master classes tomorrow here at the conservatory. And also good luck and all the best to all the future participants of the debut international piano competition. Thank you again so much, Stephan, for being with us, and all the best. Thank you.